Welcome, my loves, to Magnetic You, where science becomes strategy and frequency takes form. You've built empire and reputation by being seen for what you do. But when was the last time you felt truly seen? Not for output, not for excellence, but for your very existence. Join me as we dive into the real reason you don't feel seen, why you need a witness, and the science of feminine holding power, where we step into both an excavation and a return to the quiet, electric power of women witnessing women, a remembering of how women have always held each other. Because when women witness each other, the chemistry of the world changes. Ages and cultures ago, women gathered to hold each other through birth, loss, and the countless thresholds in between. They didn't call it therapy. They called it being together. In these spaces, women didn't rush to fix what hurt. They surrounded it until it softened. These were the first social nervous systems, long before neuroscience had language for co-regulation or mirror neurons. One woman spoke, another hummed, and a third simply sat and listened. And somehow, the unspeakable became survivable. In West Africa, griot storytelling bound memory to melody. Women gathered around the griot, the keeper of stories, to make sure that no joy or grief was ever carried alone. Each retelling turned personal pain into communal legacy. In ancient Ireland, Celtic keening rituals gave grief a voice. Women gathered at the threshold of loss and keened long melodic wails that turned mourning into music, breath and sorrow woven into music that freed what words could not. In Japan, onai circles painted emotion into silk and color, translating silence into beauty in a time when the speech was forbidden. They rendered longing, loneliness, and grace into color and symbol. Their art became a witnessing of emotion, preserving dignity, translating feeling into form. Through rhythm, story, and art, women instinctively discovered that physiology of safety long before science even had a name for it. Ritual became bridge. Presence became proof that healing happens not in isolation, but in orbit. But the fires dimmed, the circles broke, the sacred gatherings were systematically silenced. Witch trials, colonization, industrialization, collaboration replaced with competition. The communal fire replaced by individual ambition. Intuition became illness. The medicalization of care turned empathy into expertise. Women who once shared the rhythms of their bodies began to fear them. What was once healed through presence was pathologized through observation. Corporate ladders built like fortresses, digital landscapes of exposure without intimacy. We became visible everywhere, yet rarely witnessed. We broadcast, yet are not met. We perform connection instead of feeling it. It is not lack of contact, but lack of depth within it. And yet, beneath the armor of achievement, the ache is the same: to be seen, not managed. And so, the modern circle is forming again. Somatic healing reintroduced the body as storyteller, not symptom. It taught us that trauma cannot be thought away. It must be felt through safety in the presence of another. In these spaces, the practitioner does not fix, she witnesses. Presence replaces prescription. Breath replaces advice. Healing is not intellectual, it's experiential. And science is now singing what story always knew. Mirror neurons are cells that fire both when we act and when we observe someone else acting. When one woman laughs or cries, another's brain lights up in the same way. The physiology of empathy. It builds understanding, attunement, and collective regulation. Shared witnessing is neurobiological. Each moment of mutual presence rewires the brain. Through neuroplasticity, the nervous system learns connection over defense, curiosity over caution. And the act of witnessing is reciprocal, a feedback loop between the seer and the seen. Both bodies regulate, heart rates align, breath synchronizes, and even hormones harmonize. Science calls it interpersonal coherence, when two nervous systems share a current of safety. One woman's calm becomes another's permission to exhale. To be seen without judgment is not a metaphor. Neuroimaging shows that compassionate observation reactivates calm and clarity while quieting fear. It's the body's way of saying the danger has passed. Healing accelerates in community. Research has found that emotional regulation and self-compassion rise exponentially when pain is witnessed, not analyzed. And this spills over to our genes as well. Epigenetic studies show that emotional environments shape generations. Fear and neglect leave molecular scars, but belonging can rewire them. When women gather, oxytocin synchronizes, serotonin stabilizes. Every act of witnessing becomes an act of cellular healing, a rewriting of fear interrelational trust. We are not fragile. We are powerful together, and presence is our portal. Modern neuroscience affirms what ritual always knew: movement, breath, sound. Each discharges stress hormones, recalibrates the limbic system, and restores rhythm to the heart. When women sing in unison, oxytocin rises and prolactin blooms. The same chemistry that binds mother to child. This is why communal ritual feels like peace. Rituals find power when grounded in the elements and amplified when shared together. Fire transforms, burning pain into light. Water cleanses. Tears and baths purify what words cannot. Earth grounds, salt and stone anchoring our emotions. Air clarifies, truths spoken aloud set the spirit free. And ether unites, the invisible coherence between hearts that trust. Presence itself can find its home through the windows of the soul. Sustained eye contact activates safety signals, regulating heart rate, dissolving defense. This sacred gaze awakens a timeless remembering that you are safe because you are seen. Presence becomes prayer, healing through the shared connection between two nervous systems that remember how to listen. Before the world was divided by roles and reason, there were circles. Circles of women beneath dusk skies to be witnessed, to remember that their existence was enough. No one performed. No one impressed. They breathed. They wept. They became. They knew that when one woman spoke her truth, it untied the knots in another's chest. That empathy was a form of touch. That healing was a chorus, not a solo. Centuries may have scattered us, but our memory endures, not in books, but in you and me. It pulses through you every time you long to be met without defense. Every time your eyes meet another's and something unspoken finally exhales. That is the language we have returned to, the oldest one we know, the language of being seen. If something inside you softened here, it's because your body remembers what it means to be seen, not evaluated, not examined, simply met. To be witnessed is to be reunited with your own existence. In Magnetic You coaching, we slow down enough to feel what has gone unseen, to let presence finish the sentence pain once began. This is where healing unfolds in the soft electricity between two nervous systems that decide for a moment to trust. Step into the continuum where being witnessed is the work, where the body remembers it was never meant to heal alone, where the lineage of women who have held their breath for centuries finally exhales through you. Your place in the circle awaits in the description. Subscribe because the current is good. Share because together is better. Stay luminous, stay true, magnetic you.